Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. So today we're going to talk about credit, and I'm going to give you one simple thing that you can do to increase your credit score by 41 points all by yourself. All right, but before I do that, I'm going to go over why credit is important, why good credit is important. So, a lot of you watching me already have good credit, but in case you are working on your credit, um, this is for you. And I'm going to be brief. So, credit, as you know, it's not taught in school. And then, so if you're not taught in school, you're not taught in the household, then you're going to get this later on in life. Now, some people never get the importance of credit, why credit is important. All right. So basically, when you have bad credit or average credit, they're charging you more for everything. So you're paying more for a car than everybody else. You're paying higher interest rates than everybody else. And these fees are hidden. So they're not something that you can see, but this is how the system is set up. So the worse off your credit is, the more you're going to pay in interest and in fees. So poor credit is a more expensive life. However, it's something that you can't see. So they're like hidden charges. The other thing is, if you are a real estate investor or you're interested in taking out a loan for home, maybe you're a first time home buyer, you would like to buy a home. Maybe you are a real estate investor, you would like to buy property. Good credit is important because you can actually get more money the better your credit is. So, say for example, your score is 697. So, they would give you less money compared to someone who has a 700. And that's one reason why credit is important. It opens up the way for you to get more funding, the better that your credit is. So not only are you getting more funding, you're getting better interest rates by having better credit. And this is the way that the system is set up. Now, in all cases, credit is not important in all cases. For example, you can buy a home through the NACA program. This is for first-time home buyers. It's also for people who have not had a house in 3 years. So NACA doesn't care about your credit score. So they are legitimate and they are actually there to help you get into your home. So there are some exceptions, places that don't look at your credit. That is NACA. Um, Also the USDA. That's for rural communities. So these programs are here to actually help you get into a home. But if you're going the traditional route, the traditional banking route, that's the first question they're going to ask you. What's your credit? Or even if you're going to places to, say you decide to go through a money broker. Money brokers, what they do is they help you get funding, and then they take 2% of that funding. So that's a business for them, business brokers. However, they won't even think about helping you at all if your credit score is not at least a 680. So by not having a good credit score, it causes a lot of limits. A lot of limits. People won't even look at you or even think about trying to help, right? So 700 or better is the goal when it comes to credit. So now I'm going to give you this one simple hack that you can do if you're working on your credit score and you're doing this solo. Does anybody out here feel like they are trying to accomplish anything and they feel solo out here? Anybody like that? So some people are not trying to accomplish anything. Other people are trying to accomplish things and they feel like they're in this place of solidarity, solo. And then there are other people that are working together. All right, so if you're solo in this and you're increasing your credit score all by yourself, this is the one simple hack that you can do that will increase your score by 41 points. And it doesn't take long at all. Any guesses? Any guesses? All right, so what you can do to increase your score by 41 points is pay your credit card down to 1% before the closing date. And that's going to make your credit score jump. This is especially if you're used to carrying maximum on your credit card. So say, for example, you have a credit card that has a limit of 5,000 and you're used to carrying 5,000. So if you were to pay that down to 1%, which is about $50 before the closing date, then you will see that jump in your score by 41 points. Now, the date is very important. The closing date is when they take a picture and they send it to the credit bureaus. So paying down to 1% before the closing date is going to cause that huge jump in your credit score. However, you do want to be mindful that you are not paying off the credit card completely. You don't want to pay off the credit card completely down to zero balance, because believe it or not, if you do that, they're going to cancel the card. So it does have to have some debt on it to keep the card activated. So 1% is the goal. Pay it down to 1%. And it doesn't take long. Say, for example, maybe you are not in a good place right now for whatever reason. You could do things like use your tax refund, use partial amount of your tax refund, pay it down to 1%, or wherever that additional source of money would come from. Maybe a side hustle, figuring out a side hustle and paying it down to 1%. And then getting into that habit of, so that's going to boost it by 41 points just by doing that one thing. And to keep it there, you would want to pay off your credit card every month before the closing date with that goal of 1%. Because if you get it down to 1% and then you start charging things again, then it's going to cause your score to go down. So keeping it at that 1% is the goal. Paying that card off down to 1% every month. That is the goal. That is the new habit. All right. And the goal is a 700 or better. When you look at some of the lenders, they're looking at that score. And there are some hard money lenders out here who will offer you a lower down payment on a house. And I have seen some that has their number is 740. So if you have a 740, you can pay a 15% down payment. Anything less than that is 25%. So even the down payment is different based on your credit score. 25% if it's less than 740. 740 or higher, you're paying 15% down payment. So everything all the way around is better if you just pay attention to that credit score and raise it up as high as possible. All right. So do me a favor, if you like the channel, I need you to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Feel free to leave your comments below. If you made it this far in the video, type in the word credit. If you're interested in buying real estate, check out this link below. Join the waitlist for the real estate group. And also, men, if you're watching, check out the hat collection. That will be in the pinned link below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.